Welcome to Goodwin Park for the final game of round 7 here in the National Premier League Queensland, as we see Cairns take on the table toppers Olympic FC. Olympic, who are top of the table and unbeaten, still the only side who can say that in the league so far, but they survived a huge scare last week against Gold Coast United, coming from 2 goals down to rescue a 2-2 draw at Robina Station Reserve, thanks to 2 penalties from Adam Edgar. The Cairns have been fairly inconsistent so far this season. They've won 2, lost 3, but have won their only previous game down here in Brisbane this season, a 3-2 victory over the Brisbane Raw Youth. They've scored in every game thus far as well, so hopefully we'll see plenty of goals. Can they keep that up against the Olympic defence that's kept 2 clean sheets already this season and has the 3rd best defence in the league? You just have to stick with me, Simon Smale, on the Football Queensland Facebook page to find out as we see the teams enter the field. Olympic in their traditional red and white stripes and Cairns in the light blue. As I mentioned, we're normally treated to plenty of goals in this fixture. There's been 53 of them in the past 11 encounters in the National Premier Leagues. We're in fact knocked out of the finals in 2014 by Olympic were Cairns, or the final of Queensland Heat as they were then, 5-4. In this very fixture last year, in front of the Football Queensland cameras, we were treated to a 5-goal thriller as Danny Byrne netted a penalty at the death to secure a 3-2 victory. That was in round 19 last year and kept Olympic in the hunt and really ended final of Queensland Heat's season. We're only quickly through the teams as they shake each other's hands. We'll start with the visitors Cairns in the blue. In goal will be number 20 Josh Wilson. You've got number 2 Sean Owens, number 3 Johnson Slopemaker, number 5 Joseph Zupo, number 6 Bronson Coppen, number 8 Jamie Carroll, number 9 Josh Janitis, number 10 Chris O'Hare, number 11 Joshua Taylor, number 15 Thomas Murphy, number 18 Masashi Nakagawa. Substitutes are Jackson Riley in the number 1 jersey, number 4 Nathan Carr, number 7 Mokwanzi Nkwane, or MJ, as I will be calling him for the rest of the broadcast should he take to the field. And Rekha Ryan Kavanagh will be wearing the number 14 jersey. The hosts, coached by Ben Can, they're lined up as such. Number 1, Nick Mooney. Number 2, Jack Glover. Number 3, Shane Stefanuto. Number 4, Kristen Waters. Number 6, Matt Mundy. Number 7, Shelford Diaz. Number 8, Kazuya Ito. Number 9, Danny Byrne, the captain. Number 10, Kieran Sanders. Number 11, Jez Lofthouse. And number 20, Zelfi Nazari. Substitutes for Olympic. Number 12, Costa Psaros. Number 16, Charles Slaney. Number 18, Adam Edgar. Number 19, Jean-Philippe Lassen. And number 21, Dakota Sprange. Referee and officiating team today, Paul Eldridge. Running the lines, Michael Burlon and Daniel Olsen. The captains in the middle of the moment, Jamie Carroll, the longest serving Cairns player, of course, for the final of Queensland Heat. Over 100 games, he scored 42 goals in his National Premier League's Queensland career. It's a fair return for the striker. Only managed 4 goals last year after a career high 15 back in 2016. Has scored twice already this season against the Raw Youth in that 3-2 victory, and Redlands United in another 3-2 victory. So perhaps smart money would be on if Cairns score 3, they'll win the game. Slight blow to Olympic ahead of the game. Charles Slaney has been brought into the side, into the squad, that is, in place of Steve White. He suffered an injury, the 21-year-old former Mariner and Seattle Sounder. So he's been dropped out of the squad. And you wonder whether Olympic will feel his absence at the back. Like they're lining up with a back 3. As we await Paul Eldridge's command to get us underway. And we're off and racing here at Goodwin Park, and it is Olympic in the red and white stripes, kicking from right to left, who get us underway. Mundy tried to thread the needle to Jez Lofthouse, the former Sunshine Coast Fire man, but was unable to do so, and it's an early turnover for Cairns. Murphy switches play over to the far side, and Zupo, Canadian. Slowmaker. Zupo goes forward. I think that was intended for Jamie Carroll, but was far in advance of the Cairns stalwart. Olympic will clear, but that's sloppy again, and if not for a slightly misplaced pass by Bronson Coppen, Cairns could have been on the attack immediately, but as it is, Olympic escape with a throw over on that far side, and here is Kazuya Ito looping that ball forward. 2 Olympic players getting each other's way, but here's Nazari and Lofthouse just can't get that ball under control. And the Cairns defence was there to pounce. He's done well so far since his move down from the sunny coast, has Lofthouse. 4 goals in his 6 games. Byrne, Ito, back to the experienced Stefanuto. 3-time Socceroo, of course. Mopping up there was Jamie Carroll, and Cairns will look to build from the back. Both sides just testing the waters a little here on what is a glorious afternoon here in Brisbane, just next to the Brisbane River in Yeronga. Nice looking ball, not quite dealt with by Matt Mundy, but he just gets enough to deny Taylor a through run on goal. Josh Taylor, who's scored 6 in his 5 games so far, so keep your eye on the Cairns number 11, tugging on the shirt there of Mundy. Mundy found Lofthouse, and then a poor bit of control from Diaz, but it might work out for Olympic here. Here's Glover racing down to the byline, has options at the back, Oh, it was a nice little touch from Sanders, but a little bit too cute on the edge of the area. And Cairns are going to be able to clear. And they only lump it as far as halfway, and it'll be a throw for Olympic. And a good chance there. Excellent work on that right-hand side by Glover, who was one of 3 former Far North Queensland Heat players in the Olympic lineup, alongside goalkeeper Nick Mooney and Sanders himself. Scored 7 goals for the Heat, 2 in a grand final defeat back in 2016 to Kieran Sanders, the Englishman, formerly of Oxford City. Spent 2017 down in Victoria with Edgeworth. That's down in northern New South Wales, apologies. In Edgeworth, getting my geography mixed up a little. Managed 4 goals for them in the northern New South Wales NPL. Here's Nazari, cut out by Zupo. Too many times you get 2 players with Zs in their names going up against each other. Luckily neither of them are particular tongue twisters. No nonsense approach from Waters. This is probably a wise approach to take when dealing with Josh Taylor. He's been in fine form, the 25-year-old. Referee's whistle has gone, and it is a free kick for Cairns. This is a promising position for Cairns, looking to get the ball into the danger zone. Looks like it will be Chris O'Hare who does so. So often Jamie Carroll's foil as the Cairns captain trots into the penalty area. Slopemaker's arriving as well. It's a poor free kick in the end, but it's fallen only as far as Owens, who will chip that ball back in, and that's just catching practice for Mooney. Lofthouse on this near side. Nice turn from Lofthouse. Asked a little bit too much. You can hear the shouts of encouragement from Shane Stefanuto. 38-year-old, still running around in the National Premier League's Queensland this season. He'll be buzzing after his former side, Brisbane Roar, pulled off that shock 2-1 victory over Sydney down in New South Wales yesterday. A real boil over in the Hyundai A-League. It's a lovely ball by Owens. And Carroll up against Glover. Carroll does well to retain possession. Coppen. Crossed by Nagawa. Oh, it's a good header. The flag was up though on Taylor. And Taylor was unmarked really. Waters looking around to see who he can attribute the blame to, and I think he might have to pull his pocket mirror out. Let Josh Taylor just run off the back. And between Matt Mundy and he were unable to deal with it. Fortunately for them, the flag went up on this near side. But that could be a warning for Olympic. There's plenty of manhandling going on in the middle of the park. Coppen fairly rough with Sanders. It's going to fall for Sanders and over to Byrne. 2 Englishmen linking up well there. Sanders again. Stefanuto on the overlap. Lovely cross by Stefanuto over to the back post where Diaz was waiting. It was just a little bit too high. And just 5 minutes gone, we are still goalless here at Goodwin Park as Cairns attempt to play the ball out from the back, but took a little bobble, and that forced a rather firm pass by Jamie Carroll towards Nakagawa. And they cough up possession, do Cairns, in a fairly promising position for Olympic. Diaz. Oh, it's still there for Diaz. Did that ball go out? No, it's flicked on at the near post by the Cairns defender. just did enough to get that ball away from the lurking red shirts. But it's still there for Olympic. Here's Nazari. Nazari is collected by Sean Owens. No foul given. The ball runs out for a goal kick. Solid collision there at the back. A fairly no-nonsense approach by Sean Owens. He's played over 50 times for the Far North team. Just for one goal against the artists formerly known as the Northern Fury. Head by Taylor. It did look like Mundy might have led with the arm, but nothing doing, says referee Eldridge. And that's nice by Dias. Tried to thread the ball through to Sanders, but it was an optimistic effort. Had to be alert, did Wilson, to clear that ball. He does so. And Danny Byrne fails to control that one. Loose in the midfield is Dias. Dias slid in and concedes the free kick for that foul on Murphy. Player of the year for the Heat in 2013 before embarking on some travels of his own. 24-year-old Townsville native, spending time in Green Gully in Victoria. Playing 44 games down in that competition. Before transferring to the Dandenong Thunder in NPL 2 down in the south. Played in the grand final win over Northcote last year, but he's back in North Queensland. He's much more pleasant in the middle of winter than Melbourne is. And look to resume his career up in Cairns. Scored versus Olympic in that first year of the NPL back in 2013. One of his 3 goals. Almost squeezed through to Lofthouse. Nice idea from Dias, but a little bit too casual perhaps. KG opening, not too many opportunities, but we could have one here. Denitis. There's a coming together on the edge of the area, but Denitis still has the ball. Squaring up against Shane Stefanuto. Oh, lots of space for Coppen. Coppen can't pull the trigger though. Good defence from Olympic, scrambling defence. Did not allow the former Brisbane City man to pull the trigger. And now up the other end, here's Sanders. Sanders squares up Slopemaker. Has Lofthouse in support. Well, Lofthouse tried to cutely trip that ball over towards one of Dias or Byrne, but neither took a gamble. It's comfortable in the end for Wilson. Opportunity perhaps for Taylor. He gets the better of Waters. It's forced wide. Carroll. Denitis. Denitis is bundled off the ball by Byrne. No foul, says referee Eldridge. And here's Lofthouse. Lofthouse. Up against Owens. That's nice from Lofthouse. Gets past 2. Can he do a third? Yes, he can. Well covered by Owens, though, and it needed to be. Lovely work from Jez Lofthouse. Made a mockery of the challenges of Murphy, Slopemaker and Owens initially, but it was Owens who was able to make that vital touch. Still there, though, with Sanders. Now Nazari. Sanders. It's a few step overs of his own. Back to goal, though. Ito. Ito looks to be bundled out of it, but retains possession. Setting up nicely Olympic. Stefanuto to Byrne. Byrne goes all the way back to Glover. Glover forced back by Carroll, but Olympic still in possession. Stefanuto. Waters to Nazari. And now it's broken up by Zupo. Well played by the Canadian. And it's lumped forward towards Taylor. Taylor will look to square up Waters, but Waters far too good defensively for that. And Olympic will come again. Still yet to have a real clear-cut opportunity. Lofthouse over on that far side now. Switching wings. That's given something of a free roll. Oh, that might fall for Josh Taylor. Stefanuto does well. Ito. Olympic forced back, but Glover looks forward to Dias. But Dias is dispossessed by O'Hare, and here's Carroll. Tries to flick it back through to his sparring partner, but is just unable to do so. Let us know where you're watching from on the Football Queensland Facebook page. Some of Joe Zupo's family are watching over in Canada, if you are. Hope it's not too cold over there. Beautiful day here in southeast Queensland. Oh, it could fall here for Carroll. That's dangerous. Over to the back post is Denitis. Can he keep it in? He can. Still there for Cairns. Oh, Denitis squares up Stefanuto. Can't get that ball past Mundy. If you're joining us on YouTube, thanks for doing so. Hope you enjoy this Double Take Football Queensland production. Majority of fans on Instagram are backing the hosts to come out on top, extend their unbeaten run, pick up their 6th win of the season. It's been pretty even so far though. So our scoreboard reference point has gone down. There's more than 0 minutes passed. A lot of that spell of possession enjoyed by Olympic as a spell of possession for Cairns, and then over on that far side Carroll was called offside, his arms outstretched, pleading with the official on this near side. Very disappointed with the call. And Jamie Carroll, who's been booked 25 times in his National Premier League's Queensland career, is getting a bit of a talking to by Paul Eldridge. He is one of only 5 players that have been cautioned so far for Cairns this season, one of whom, Matt Phillip, isn't playing today. Stay with it. Here's Murphy. Murphy looking for an option. He was closed down by Dias though, and that prompted the pass to be rushed. Mooney had to hurry. He only clears that as far. It's Bronson Coppen. Coppen uses Slope Maker. There's Murphy. Nakagawa. Forced back. Zupo's ball cut out by Mundy, and Mundy's going to go on a little run here. No, instead he plays in Lofthouse. Lofthouse gets to the byline, looks for the support of Byrne. His cross is deflected, only as far as Sanders though, and Sanders replaces Lofthouse in that left-hand side of the penalty area. Forced back to Stefanuto though. Olympic retaining possession well. Here's Ito. Sanders pressured off the ball by Owens, and here comes Denitis. Denitis, it was a nice idea, but it really required Christian Waters to not be paying attention for Carroll to retain possession, but he's unable to do so. Here's Dias for Olympic. Was deflected on its way through. It needed to be dealt with by Slopemaker, and it's out for a corner. First of the afternoon for Olympic. Coming up to 20 minutes in this opening half. Kieran Sanders is made to wait for the ball. Will he punish his former teammates here? Run was made by Mundy. Instead, it was the head of Glover. Yeah, it was Glover. Waters was there too. Got plenty of tall timber, have Olympic. Didn't quite get the right purchase on the ball though. And Cairns live to fight another day. Still 0-0 here. It's approaching midway through the first half. It's the Cairns-born Stefanuto with the header. Taylor gambled unsuccessfully. And Coppin gives away the free kick, which is taken quickly, aimed towards Lofthouse. Slopemaker will be able to deal with it, but needs support of Owens. And Owens puts that one onto the roof just alongside us here at Goodwin Park. Throw into Olympic. Oh, it was a decent throw from Stefanuto. Not quite hard enough to get its way through to Shelford Diaz. Mundy. Ito. Lovely ball from Ito. Over towards Nazare over on that far side, but he just can't keep it in. Good hard surface. They do water it just before the game here at Goodwin Park to create that optimal playing surface. And it's looking in pretty good nick for surface at this early stage of the season. Here's Nazari. Danny Burns. Ball just too hard. And we have another goal kick. Midway through the first half. Olympic 0, Cairns 0 in round 7 of the Football National Premier League's Queensland. Brought to you by Football Queensland on the Facebook page and YouTube. Hello to Oliver May, watching from Oklahoma City in the United States. Welcome to sunny Queensland. Hope you're enjoying this National Premier League Queensland game so far. Hasn't really sparked into life yet. As Jamie Carroll gives away the free kick. It's a dangerous position. The foul was on Nazari. Taken quickly to Lofthouse. Pops up on the right this time. Needs support, finds it in Glover. There's a misplaced pass though, and Cairns will be thankful for that. Here's Donetis. Bit too far for him, and Stefanuto can mop up effectively. Slightly misplaced from Mundy, but works out in the end. Waters and Glover working it out. Bit of strength shown there by Jez Lofthouse. Father, of course, Andrew Lofthouse. Can spot him on Channel 9. Oh, that was nice from Jez Lofthouse. Very nice. He'll have enjoyed that, would Andrew, while he's preparing for the Channel 9 news this evening. Other news networks are available. A foul is given against Stefanuto, who gives an alternate version of events to Paul Eldridge. He's quipping at me during the week, Stefanuto, that whenever I commentate on him, he gets booked. Has been booked just for once in his 5 games so far this season for Olympic. And it's quite often his conversations with referees that land him in a little bit of hot water. It's fairly early days for him to be frustrated thus far. Although Olympic have been frustrated by Cairns, who are in 11th spot prior to this game kicking off after results from the weekend. And there were some interesting ones. Lions giving Sunshine Coast an absolute thrashing at Lions Stadium, 13-0. Sunshine Coast having a pretty bad run of things. Of course, they conceded 15 a fortnight ago. The 5 they conceded in front of the Football Queensland cameras last week, starting to look like a very decent result against Redlands United, who suffered a 2-1 defeat against Brisbane City at Corporate Travel Management Stadium. Strikers, they ran out 4-1 winners over the Brisbane Roar. Had a week off, did Brisbane Strikers, as Lofthouse acrobatically falls to the floor after challenging Coppen. It's an injury of his own doing there, Lofthouse. He picks himself up rather gingerly. I think he's been having that explained to him by Paul Eldridge. Good player though, Lofthouse. Played pretty well for the Sunshine Coast in what was a very disappointing side last season. Scored 7 goals in an otherwise forgettable campaign for the Fire. And here he is again, forcing a throw-in off Johnson Slopemaker. Was mentioning Raw had a week off last week, as did Cairns. The game postponed up in the far north, owing to the deluge of rain that fell across the state over the past week or so. Here's Byrne. It's nice work from Olympic, and Lofthouse onside. Stefanuto frustrated with Lofthouse there, but that's lovely from Lofthouse, turning Owens, tried to put the ball in to the middle, but it was cut out well. And then Byrne forcing a goal kick. That was a lovely piece of skill from Jez Lofthouse. Really been one to watch. He's on a 3-game goal-scoring drought at the moment after scoring 4 in his opening 3 games. So he'll be looking to break that duck, and that was a bit of magic on this near sideline in order to create that chance for his side. Olympic ball. Josh Donetis quizzically glances towards the linesman, but looked like a fair call from our angle, which is a very good one. Often we're in the grandstand here at Goodwin Park, but we're on top today. It's a cracking view from up here. As Nazari is forced back towards his own goal. Retains possession though. And here he is, pointing in the right direction as far as Olympic are concerned. Lofthouse. Lofthouse tries to beat Nakagawa. No foul, no nothing. And Lofthouse, despite his protestations, will watch that ball go over the byline for a goal kick. Running through the rest of the results, Gold Coast United picked up a win in the north, up against North Queensland United. Just the solitary goal up there. And South West Queensland Thunder, well, they won a 7-goal thriller against Mackay Whitsundays Magpies Crusaders United. (4-3) the score up in Mackay. The other result is probably the most interesting one. Pride moving into second spot on the ladder with a 5-0 thrashing of Moreton Bay United. Moreton Bay, who finished with 9 men, but that might be a slightly misleading statistic. They were 2-0 down already when Boarop was sent off. Then Jamonde was sent off 3 minutes into time added on at the end of the clash. So, very disappointing night for Moreton Bay. But Pride, we're starting to look very strong again to perhaps retain their title. Strong tackle at the back there by Slopemaker. but it's still there for Olympic, and Danny Byrne just too far ahead of him, and Cairns will clear through Owens. Murphy looking crossfield to Jamie Carroll. It's a good ball in the end, but Glover is there to deal. Nakagawa goes back to Zupo, now Slopemaker. Here's Owens. All the way back by Owens to Wilson. Zupo aiming that ball forward towards Carroll this time. That'll be the tactic. He's their most potent weapon over the course of the last few years, is Jamie Carroll. They'll be looking to get Josh Taylor involved, you'd think. He's being double teamed at the moment. It was worth chasing from Carroll there. Mooney mopping up fairly effectively. Taylor's been getting plenty of attention though from Waters and Mundy. I dare say that'll be the case throughout. Olympic did look like they started with a back three, but Mundy has dropped back to deal with the threat of Taylor. Lots of space for Zupo and Wilson to pass amongst themselves. No pressure at all being put on Wilson. Can sit down and make himself a cup of tea before launching that ball up towards Denitis, but it's cut out in the end. You heard the cry of anguish from Stefanuto because that's gone straight to Chris O'Hare, and Chris O'Hare has a drive. Didn't get all of it, didn't get much of it at all actually, and it just trickles out for a goal kick. Nick Mooney breathing a sigh of relief because Chris O'Hare, he can hit them. Scored 34 goals in just over 80 appearances for Cairns and Far North Queensland Heat. Played all over the shop has Chris O'Hare. Going to see the first caution of the game. And it's Nakagawa over on that left-hand side. It's his first yellow card of the season. And he'll have to be careful, particularly up against Deas and Lofthouse. Lofthouse is over on that far side now. Olympic have got attacking riches. Deas, Byrne, Sanders, Lofthouse. Nazari in the most advanced position at the moment in the middle. Looks like they're all interchanging with each other, causing all sorts of problems for the majority of defences so far this season. Joint second goal scorers in the league so far. Lofthouse's pass is intercepted. That ball has got through to Carroll, and Carroll's going to bear down on goal. Taylor's in the middle. Carroll can't get his cross over to him. Corner for the visitors. "32 minutes gone here in the first half. Not too many moments of goalmouth excitement at the moment, but we could be seeing one here. The tall figure of Bronson Coppen already in the middle. Zupo stalking up alongside him. He's joined by Carroll. It's Zupo who makes the header, and no, it was Coppen in the end. Just over the top. Nice move and a nice corner. And a good opportunity for Cairns, but this time it's Olympics defences that hold firm. Danny Byrne, Shane Stefanuto and Kieran Sanders all engaged in a little bit of discussion, the Olympic Brains Trust. Danny Byrne now turning his attentions to young Jez Lofthouse, explaining exactly where he wants him and what he wants him doing. You may hear that distinctive Scouse accent being picked up on the microphone. You certainly know when it's Danny Byrne who is shouting at you. One of 3 players with English backgrounds actually in the side is Danny Byrne, alongside Sanders and Adam Edgar, who's on the bench. A goal scorer to have on the bench. He scored 5 in his 6 games, 2 last week. In that game, as Olympic rescued a point down on the Gold Coast. Stefanuto switches play to Sanders. Sanders again. Stefanuto's free on this near side. Instead he chooses Byrne. Byrne is bundled off the ball. Sanders is following in though. Got a bit scrappy there for a moment, but did well. And then, speaking of doing well, Kristen Waters did exactly that by bringing that ball under control. Needed to use Murphy and used him very well. Forward is the call from Stefanuto. And forward it goes to Glover. Glover wins the throw-in. Linesman signalling that he wasn't sure which way it went. Referee had a better angle. Back to Ito, now Waters. Mundy. Byrne, can't quite bring that under control, and then clotheslines Donetis. A fit of desperation. See that in the Six Nations last night, less so on the football field. Danny Byrne's England being beaten by Ireland overnight. Sure will be desperately disappointed. It's nicely flicked on there by Taylor. Carroll twisting and turning. He's being double teamed now by Dias and Waters, and he's forced back. Good defence from Olympic. That was a nice flick on by Taylor. Hasn't seen all that much of the ball, but when he has. Oh, he left there by Taylor, and here's O'Hare! And O'Hare, it's scrambled in! Doesn't look like he wants to celebrate, but that's something worth celebrating. Cairns get the opener, and they lead Olympic by 1-0 here at Goodwin Park. Chris O'Hare, the goal scorer. With 10 minutes to go before the break, it's O'Hare's second goal of the season. And Olympic in a spot of bother. Haven't looked quite as cohesive as you'd expect from a team that had this unenviable unbeaten streak at the start of the season, the only team to remain unbeaten. That is a stat that's seriously under threat here at Goodwin Park. Danny Byrne up against Owens. Safety first from the Cairns defender. Ito. Bit more urgency in Olympics play as they look to draw themselves back level before the break. Sanders. Good surging run all the way through towards Stefanuto. Stefanuto getting into advanced positions at the back, from the back, sorry. Ito. Ito and Mundy getting in each other's way a little. Mundy still there in Ito's pocket. Himself some space. Lovely turn from Dias. Unable to get that ball through, and then Taylor was a little bit lackadaisical, allowing Waters to steal in. Olympic retain possession. Sanders. The run is by Nazari. Sanders either didn't see him or didn't think he could put it on the spot. That's better though. For Lofthouse. New balls, please. Here's Sanders. Foul throw. Cairns retain possession. Hooked that a little bit. Did Wilson, but nevertheless, Byrne is in possession, and Byrne tries to thread the needle all the way across, but it's come back for Byrne and might shape to shoot. No, he plays in Stefanuto. Stefanuto with the cross, just over the top of Deas. Excellent work from the former Raw left back. Ito. Once again, Mundy just in his pocket. Mundy retains possession now. Stefanuto again. This time his low cross is deflected away, almost into the path of Danny Byrne, and then it's still there for Byrne. Excellent perseverance from the Scouser. Sanders tries to play in Byrne again, unable to do so, and Josh Donetis will look to clear, but that was sloppy, easily picked off by Ito. And now Mundy. Mundy skips past the challenge of Donetis, but can't keep the ball in. It's out for a Cairns throw. Nice spell of possession for Olympic, but as has been the case so far in this game, it comes to nothing. And they're going to want to try and make some inroads shortly, trailing as they do by a 1-0. Here's the goal scorer, O'Hare, linking up with the ever-dangerous Taylor. But Olympic get possession, and here's Nazari. It's opening up for Nazari a little bit. He's going to shape to shoot, as he does. Oh, it was awkward for Wilson. Terrible when the ball bounces just in front of you like that, but he did well. Did the Cairns keeper. And he did well again there under some pretty serious pressure from Sanders. Still there for Olympic. Here's Deas. And Lofthouse. Is Lofthouse going to cross for Danny Byrne? He is, but it was deflected behind for a corner. Good spell of possession for the hosts to this. Can they draw themselves level before the break? Multi-ball for a moment. Watch Matt Mundy stalking forward. Makes a near unpost. It is Mundy! Oh, it's there for Lofthouse now, is it? Scrambling defence for Cairns. It's still not gone. Now it is. Only as far, though, as Nazari. Nazari is forced all the way back to Mooney. Waters makes his way back to only play the ball forward again to Sanders. Ito's inside. Sloppy from Ito. No matter, finds its way to Waters. Now Mundy. Deas. Lofthouse can't get possession, and Slopemaker mops up. Here's Taylor. Taylor does very well. O'Hare. O'Hare skips past one challenge, squeezes the ball away to Taylor. Taylor, it doesn't quite sit up for him. Danny Byrne it was, chasing back. Great work rate. Great work rate from the 35-year-old. Olympic a little bit sloppy at the back. Passes not quite finding their targets. Stefanuto safety first, back to Mooney. Waters. Sanders, changing pace. Nazari is in acres of space on this near side. Instead, Sanders chooses the more difficult option and doesn't quite come off for him. Lofthouse never going to get there, unfortunately, for the hosts, and slightly subdued atmosphere around Goodwin Park at the moment. Cairns leading by a 1-0. It was a Chris O'Hare goal. Squeezed through and tantalisingly bobbled over the goal line past the despairing, scrambling figure of Nick Mooney. If you've just joined us. Free kick. Taken quickly. Danny Byrne screaming for a handball on Owens. Looked like a fair few infringements taking place since that free kick was taken, about 10 yards from where it was given, but play is allowed to continue. That's ambitious from Owens. Mooney comfortably gathering. Here's the rangy Glover. It's opened up for Glover. Again, Nazari's got acres of space on this near side. Deus went down. I don't think there was much in it. More through frustration that he wasn't able to get there than anything else. But Olympic might want to start looking towards Zelfi Nazari. Scored a fortnight ago. His only goal so far of the season, but he's getting himself in plenty of space over on this left-hand side. Side now occupied by the captain, Danny Byrne. Waters instead chooses to go the other way and puts it perfectly in between Jack Glover and Jez Lofthouse for a Cairns throw. Nakagawa, playing local league last year. Nakagawa for Southside Comets. His Comet teammate Jackson Riley is the reserve goalkeeper, former Comet teammate, from last year. Actually the local area goalkeeper of the year last season. Here's Carroll. Still there for Carroll. Carroll looping that ball to nobody in particular at the back post. Denitis was closest, but it would be wildly unfair to say Denitis could have got anywhere close to that. Ooh, sloppy from Mooney. Ito used his body well and it's found its way through to Sanders, but tried to intersect two blue shirts and almost got himself into a bit of strife. Zupo plays that one, unfortunately, off Jez Lofthouse, who was chasing down hard, and it will be a Cairns throw over on that far side. Sun continuing to beat down here in Cairns, and there's a couple of tired bodies as we approach half-time. They'll be looking forward to their ice-cold drink, I'm sure. Flicked on by O'Hare towards Carroll. Now Taylor's chasing, but rather languidly. Glover looking for an option. Has an option in Nazari. It was well cut out in the end. Been pretty strong and solid at the back, have Cairns. Pairing of Slopemaker and Zupo. Slopemaker also spent time in North America for USA. Played 50 times for the Bulls in Buffalo while at college, as well as Old Dominion Uni. Right idea from Danny Byrne, trying to play in Nazari, but execution not quite there, and Wilson will take as much time as he can, obviously looking forward to a drink as much as the rest of us. And that is half-time. Paul Eldridge blowing his whistle, and it's been a disappointing half for Olympic. They've enjoyed a fair amount of possession, but you'd be hard-pushed to remember too many occasions in which Joshua Wilson's looked unduly troubled, whereas Nick Mooney's had to scramble a couple of times and indeed had to pick the ball out of the back of the net. Chris O'Hare in the 35th minute, bobbling one through that evaded the Olympic defence and has given Cairns a 1-0 lead at the major break. We're going to have a short break ourselves. Don't go anywhere though, there's plenty life in this one. Olympic have plenty of options on the bench as well, so go grab yourself a cold drink or a warm one depending on your geographical location, and we'll see you here back at Goodwin Park for the National Premier League's Queensland game between Olympic and Cairns very, very shortly.
lot at Total Tools. We swear by our range, we swear by our service, and of course, we swear by our prices, so you'll know that you're buying at the best price every day. Total Tools, every tool, every trade.
I could watch them all day, even though here, you don't feel like you need to. These are the moments I'll remember. You see, to me, it's not so much just having us all together, but finding a place that really brings us together. That's what makes Oaks Oasis special. When you only get a few chances, it's important to make them count. After all, memories don't make themselves.
Today. Audi, Eddie Mini Rouge, Mini Star. Oh, Mini Star. Ah! Audi. Dream Team.
Reckon your kid could do better than Archie? We're looking for 4 mini stars to join the Aldi Mini Rouge Dream Team. If your kid's between 4 and 11, loves football, get them to make a video.
2 minutes max.
Showing us why they've got what it takes. If they're picked, they'll be part of the Aldi Mini Rouge Dream Team and the face of Aldi's wheat biscuits.
I thought I was meant to be on the box. Chase for Chapman and Chick Fantasy! Yes, started at their fourth.
Jake up to shoot the boat. A shot anyway, and that's a stunning goal for Redlands United. What a way to bring up the second.
We swear a lot at Total Tools. We swear by our range, we swear by our service, and of course, we swear by our prices, so you'll know that you're buying at the best price every day. Total Tools, every tool, every trade.
I could watch them all day, even though here, you don't feel like you need to. These are the moments I'll remember. You see, to me, it's not so much just having us all together, but finding a place that really brings us together. That's what makes Oaks Oasis special. When you only get a few chances, it's important to make them count. After all, memories don't make themselves.
Great today. Audi, Eddie Mini Rouge, Mini Star. Oh, mini star. Ah! Howdy. Dream team.
Reckon your kid could do better than Archie? We're looking for 4 mini stars to join the Aldi Mini-Roos Dream Team. If your kid's between 4 and 11, loves football, get them to make a video.
2 minutes max.
Showing us why they've got what it takes. If they're picked, they'll be part of the Aldi Mini-Roos Dream Team and the face of Aldi's wheat biscuits.
I thought I was meant to be on the box. A chance for Chapman, who kicks Anderson. Now starting at their fourth.
Check up to shoot the boat. Well, welcome back to Goodwin Park. Still bathed in glorious sunshine here in South East Queensland. It's been an absolutely sensational day. 30 degrees at kickoff. It feels every bit of that up on top of a grandstand here at Goodwin Park. If you have just joined us, you've missed an intriguing first half in which Cairns have stolen the lead for a Chris O'Hare strike 10 minutes before the break. Stolen perhaps isn't quite a fair representation. It's been a very even encounter, and Olympic, for all their impressive possession statistics, haven't really been able to cause too many problems for their visitors, who have scored, who've maintained their record of scoring in all of their 6 National Premier League Queensland games so far. Olympic did come out a little early from the dressing sheds. Whether or not Ben Cairns sent them out. Did they jump, or were they pushed, or they just wanted to rectify what they would be seeing as a significant wrong here in the second half, as Cairns get us underway in the blue, kicking from right to left. I've been joined by Magpie up here in the commentary area. We joked before the game that being attacked by magpies might be interesting up here, but not quite the season for it yet in Queensland. For those of you who aren't from Australia, yes, that does happen. Olympic mopping up that foray forward by Cairns, and then a nice incisive ball by Stefanuto, and this could be interesting for Nazari. Nazari, is it opening up for him? No, he's going to shape to pass to Lofthouse. Lofthouse gets that ball in. It's cut out though at the near post, but a little bit sloppy from Nakagawa, and it's still there for Olympic through Sanders. Deas. Back to Byrne and back to Sanders, who pushes Stefanuto back towards halfway. Nazari. Nazari, that's a nice ball to Deas. Deas gets to the byline. Excellent defence by Sean Owens. He's been very, very good so far in this game, as have all the Cairns defenders, particularly Slopemaker and Zupo, the centre-back partnership. But that's excellent work on that right-hand side by Sean Owens. Only played 5 games last year. Been ever-present thus far this season, and he's had to be. Excellent work. Stopping that ball from causing too many problems. A little bit late by Mundy. He lined him up from quite a long way out. And Chris O'Hare dusts himself off, and Cairns will look to take this quickly. Just about kept in by Carroll. Does well. It is a corner. Some conjecture between the assistant and the referee, but Glover has been deemed to have got the last touch. O'Hare and Carroll swap spots. The big men come forward. Zupo prowling on the D, marked by probably the smallest man on the field. Zupo did make an attempt at getting towards the ball, but was cut out long before it got to him. Here's O'Hare, standing up his opposite number. Does well, O'Hare. Was allowed to go a long, long way, and it's another corner for Cairns, and they've started this second half very, very brightly. Sanders made to look very pedestrian by the fellow veteran O'Hare. Solitary goal from City. Against City, earlier in the season. Thank you for getting involved on the Football Queensland Facebook page. It's a difficult one for Mooney. And another corner. That one was sent looping up off an Olympic head in the end. So say the officials. So I say thank you for getting involved and sharing where you're joining us from. Big shout out to Braden Hoffman. Ipswich. Egypt, sorry. It's almost as far away as Ipswich. Thank you for joining us. What must be fairly early morning in North Africa. Ball swept in. Good free, good corner. Oh, it's still there for Cairns. Bronson Coppen with a shot that was deflected. Glorious glorious corner by O'Hare. When you get Ipswich and Egypt mixed up, perhaps a corner and a free kick aren't so bad, but a bit of a let-off there for the hosts. Real dangerous play. There's a bit of a battle going on in the midfield. Deas and Slopemaker both feeling aggrieved that the whistle didn't go for a foul on one or the other. They're both so concerned with getting in each other's way that they completely forgot they were meant to be getting the ball. Murphy just looped that one out of play over on that far side. Seemed that he was a little bit anonymous towards the second half of the first half. Just nice control at the back, and you control it like that, you can launch a good counter-attack. Nice link-up play between Nakagawa and Carroll. Nakagawa tries to get a cross in. Well controlled by Sanders, and he clears only as far as Bronson Coppen though. Slopemaker, 22-year-old from Nelson in New Zealand. Came to Cairns via Buffalo and Virginia in the United States. Murphy getting more involved after I called him out for disappearing. Closed down well by Danny Byrne though, and got himself into a spot of bother. Ran into a bit of a blind alley and then was mugged by the Everton fan. Still there for Cairns though with Donetis. And everyone in the grandstand will be hoping that wasn't their car that got hit by the ball. Plenty of action happening down here by the river in Yeronga. AFL games on the other side of the road. Busy sporting precinct. Just a little bit outside Brisbane CBD. Slopemaker tried to push that ball forward, but in the end has to go back to Wilson. And now Zupo. Well left by Coppen and Carroll. He'll go across field. Murphy. There for Taylor. Now Nakagawa. Nice by Carroll. Carroll was offside. He's been picked off a couple of times as the Cairns captain. Informs Nakagawa that he should have perhaps played it a little bit early. And now Paul Eldridge is informing Jack Glover that he should take the free kick from where it was given. And a little bit slack in the positioning of the free kicks. On occasion. Mooney looking for an option, doesn't appear to see one. He did have plenty and managed to just pick up Bronson Coppen instead. Oh, all on his own is Taylor. If he can turn, this could be dangerous, but he probably had a little bit more time than he thought. Tried to play in Donetis, but it was probably the wrong option. But Donetis then gets in front of Stefanuto, and here's Taylor. Flag stays down. Oh, the foot was left in perhaps on Mooney. Gets up well though, and quickly.
and launches, or hopes to launch, a counter-attack, but holds on to the ball far too long. He has Lofthouse and Glover and Ito out here on this near touchline, and Mooney delays just sufficiently enough for Cairns to regain their shape, and they regain possession as well. O'Hare to Dinetis. Dinetis breezes past Stefanuto, who hangs his head in the air. Dinetis can't quite get the ball away and through to Josh Taylor, and then serves him a spray to end all sprays. He was hoping to squeeze that ball through, but Taylor obviously didn't read his mind correctly. And a bit of a let-off for Olympic. You wouldn't have thought it was Olympic who were trying to get themselves back into the game. It's been all Cairns early here in the second half. And another corner will be delivered by the goal scorer O'Hare. O'Carroll's all on his own, and it was aimed towards him. Sanders, in the end, who gets that ball clear, and flag is up. Ball was unable to be kept in by Jez Lofthouse. This is just sloppy from Olympic. And how long before Ben Khan looks to his bench to try and spark some life into his team? He does have options. Costa Psaros, Adam Edgar, John Philippe Lassan. So that squeezes through as well. Another corner for Cairns. Pressure building on the Olympic goal. Just 10 minutes into this second half, and it's been one-way traffic so far. Cairns belying their lowly league position to really dominate their high-flying hosts. Short between Dinitis and O'Hare. Oh, it's a brilliant save by Mooney. Chris O'Hare changed the angle with the short corner, and then a very dangerous curling ball towards the back post. Awful for goalkeepers to deal with. But former teammate Nick Mooney was more than equal to it, the former Heat man. Looks like, well, Olympic get possession. Must be for an offside. Didn't see the flag go up. I was too enamoured with the curl on O'Hare's ball into the box towards the back post, and a pressure relieving foul. And I'll tell you what, that was a bit naughty from Matt Mundy, and we're going to have a coming together between Mundy and Coppen, the two number 6s. Mundy flew in totally unnecessarily in order to try and get this free kick taken quickly. Both players are going to get a bit of a talking to by referee Eldridge, but it certainly looked like Mundy instigated that in his haste to get the free kick and get things moving. There will be no cards amounting from that. Cairns players have taken the opportunity to get a drink, and now all out of position. Owens scrambling back to cover Danny Byrne. As well refereed by Eldridge. He snuffed that out relatively quickly. He could have gone to his notebook, but decided not to. Stefanuto. Well, it came off the side of the head of Nazari. He's never looked in danger of challenging Wilson's goal, but nevertheless, it's a good free kick from Stefanuto towards the back post. And that's the first real bit of possession that Olympic have had in this second half. Dinitis and Taylor have continued their slight disagreement and ended up getting in each other's way a little there. Waters tries to find Nazari and got a little bit too far ahead of him. Oh, that's very, very cute at the back to deceive Zelfi Nazari. Don't want to be too cute in those positions, but Zupo did very well. Here is Taylor at the other end. Good defending from Waters to get his body in the way, and Mooney won't want to delay too much. Oh, he passes it straight to Murphy. Is Murphy going to shoot? No, he's dispossessed by Sanders. And now Olympic look to counter. Game suddenly opened up after that early spell of pressure from Cairns. Lofthouse. Lofthouse does well. Gets the cross in. It's there for Danny Byrne. There for Lofthouse again. It's gone behind for offside on Lofthouse in the end. He disagrees, as you'd expect. That's a great opportunity for Danny Byrne. Lovely work on this right-hand side by Jez Lofthouse. Picked out Danny Byrne at the back post and looked to have got a deflection to take it away from goal. And that is something that Josh Wilson will be very, very thankful for, because the goal was gaping. And Olympic could have been level but for that challenge. Good challenge there by Owens. If not for that, Byrne was free down the left-hand side. We are going to see our first substitution of the afternoon, and it is Olympic, and it's Danny Byrne who is being withdrawn. Costa Passaros, the man who replaces him. Tactical, I think, from Ben Kahn. Doesn't look like Danny Byrne is getting treatment for anything, although he is having a slight discussion with the trainer now. Did suffer awfully with injuries last year. It restricted him to just 14 appearances. In fact, the entire Olympic side were hampered by a catastrophic casualty list. A bit heavy from Waters, but Glover was able to gain possession. Definitely playing free at the back now, Olympic, as they look for an equaliser. Mundy chips that ball Diaz's way. The former Central Coast Mariners man. Central Coast Mariners youth man can't get on the end of it, a little bit too far ahead of him. And Glover is knocked off his feet by the force of that header. A bit of head tennis going on in the midfield now. Oh, flicked through though by Taylor, and there's Carroll. The flag is up on that far side again. Carroll smiles at the decision. It's the former Heat man who will be taking the free kick. One of 4 players in the Olympic lineup who have a connection with the far north Queensland side in one way or another. 3 former players, and then Stefanuto was born in Cairns. Something of a reunion for those players, but it's their former teammates and townmates who have the upper hand at the moment. There's Passaros. That's nice from Passaros. That's what he did all last year. There's a nice looking cross. Nazari lurking, but Wilson claiming. He had a good season last season, Costa Passaros. He's played a fair few games for Olympic over the years after a short sojourn at Easts in the Flight Centre Brisbane Premier League. Been at Olympic since 2013 after playing his junior football at Souths and Rochdale. O'Hare! It was worth a crack. As we've seen, he can get some good movement on the ball, but wasn't able to direct that one either side of Nick Mooney, or side enough to cause problems, but up the other end, here's Pizarros. Pizarros, he put that ball into a great position, but Nazari didn't make the run. And another opportunity goes begging for Olympic. Didn't look pretty, but it's found its way through to Taylor. Taylor was squared up by his opposite number, Lofthouse, and then looked like there was a connection of Bronson Coppen by Lofthouse. A few Bronx cheers from the locals here in Yeronga at Goodwin Park, but looked pretty clear cut. You'd have to hope it was, for Coppen's sake, because it would have been an awful place to give the ball away. Played themselves into a bit of trouble there, and Slopemaker puts that one dangerously close to my car over in the car park next to the road. Youngsdale Street here in Yeronga. He put himself, his teammates put him under a fair bit of pressure, but then makes up for giving the ball away by mopping up there. It's here for Mundy though. And Cairns get possession. Looks like Ben Khan is planning on making another change. You'd say Danny Greystone is fairly happy with how things sit at the moment, although I'm sure he'd be very, very pleased if he could claim another goal. Coppen. Denitis dallied a little bit and collected Stefanuto on the way through. Free kick to Olympic. Another opportunity to deliver a ball into the box. Waters starts making his way up. Stefanuto has talked his way into the referee's notebook. Won't be the first time, and probably won't be the last time either. He's still discussing the relative merits of where he's positioned the ball, is Stefanuto. It's just his second booking of the campaign. Chris O'Hare is only about 6 yards away. He's gone back a little bit further now. Stefanuto, good ball by Stefanuto. Oh, it almost fell for Glover. Glover did get a touch too. Almost think it surprised him. It was a gorgeous ball by Stefanuto. He's just unable to make any kind of contact. Kazuya Ito is the man who is being withdrawn for Olympic now. Good first half, but he's been a bit quiet in the second. And as you'd expect, Adam Edgar, last week's hero. Former Newcastle National Youth League player. Born in England. Returned to England, of course, to play with Huddersfield. That's a lovely ball, and it looked like Dias was pulled back. He gets another opportunity and puts it in at the second attempt. And Olympic have pulled level. Excellent work from Shelford Dias. That's his fourth goal of the season. Olympic are back on level terms. Excellent work from Dias. It was a good save first up from Wilson. But Shelford Dias was being pulled and pushed and harried and harassed as he ran through on goal, but exceptional work to keep on track, and he never gave up throughout. Oh, that's a bit weak from Nakagawa. Plays Zupo into a bit of trouble. Olympic will suddenly have their tails up. Here's Edgar. Very neat by Bronson Coppen. Deas. Tackled brilliantly by Owens. So I haven't mentioned it before, he's been excellent so far today. Oh, slid through. It was a nice ball if there had been a Cairns player present in the near vicinity, but there wasn't. Nice from Lofthouse. Coppen slides in fairly recklessly, you have to say, but managed to get all of the ball and none of Jez Lofthouse, and just concedes a corner and nothing worse. Committed himself fully to the tackle, did Bronson Coppen. Sanders delivers the ball into the danger zone. It's there! He's only been on a couple of minutes, and it only took him a couple of minutes to make his mark. Adam Edgar with the header. Glorious corner from Kieran Sanders, and suddenly, just like that, Olympic are ahead. Excellent, excellent header. And Olympic all of a sudden are back ahead. And it's now Cairns who've got all the work to do. It would have been a strong case for Edgar to start today after last week's heroics. Followed Ben Kahn around. Carroll gets himself in a bit of a muddle and allows the ball to go out on the full. He's followed Ben Kahn from being a Sunshine Coast junior to the Central Coast Mariners, and of course graduated through the Nike Academy. Proceeded to Huddersfield Town. He's back in Queensland now though. Linking up again with Ben Kahn. For the third time in his short career, the 20-year-old. And he's instantly made his mark on this game. There could be more for Olympic. Ambitious pass from Nazari and too ambitious for Dias. It's 2 goals in 2 minutes for Olympic. Denitis will be the first casualty of that particular flurry of Olympic goals for Cairns. Home supporters slightly more buoyant now, giving Jamie Carroll and Josh Taylor a little bit of advice when they ventured over to this near side. That's good strength from Sanders. And Sanders lays it off to Edgar. Edgar straight into the breadbasket for Josh Wilson. The difference has been immediate for Olympic. He was the hero last week. He may well go down as the hero this week as well. Well, Adam Edgar. 6th goal of the season. Here's Lofthouse as Olympic look for more. Oh, poor positioning from Nakagawa. Lofthouse does well. Oh, it's nice skill from Lofthouse. Gets in a little bit of a muddle though. allowing Cairns to clear. That's a lovely ball for Carroll, released by a gorgeous pass from Taylor. Glover did well to get back. Carroll tries to thread that ball through, and then Glover puts his body in the way and concedes or wins the free kick. Taylor can only laugh. He knew exactly what Glover was doing, but was powerless to stop it. Dias, who opened Olympics account. Lofthouse showed a bit too much of it to Nakagawa that time. Here's Taylor. O'Hare delivered the ball and he's feeling his lower back. Can't recall seeing a collision as such, but he's obviously got a bit of a knock. Can be quite uncomfortable, those lower back injuries. Slopemaker dips for shoulder and deceives Psaros. Here's O'Hare now. Carroll with the cross. He's in at the near post. Cairns are back level. Beautiful work from the visitors. It's Thomas Murphy who gets the goal, his first of the season. What a game we have here. I promised you goals, and we've seen 4 of them. It's 2-2 so far. Beautiful work down this near side by Chris O'Hare, Jamie Carroll, and then Thomas Murphy arriving at pace at the near post. And Cairns, they've weathered the onslaught somewhat from Olympic and dragged themselves back level. They might have some problems though with O'Hare. He was instrumental in that goal, but does look like he's suffering with that lower back. You can see him feeling at it every time he gets a moment. Edgar puts Slopemaker under a fair bit of pressure, but Slopemaker does get the ball clear. And the bullish comments from the grandstands have dried up somewhat. Here's Lofthouse. Oh, good ball by Lofthouse. Psaros challenged. Wilson just gave him a little tap as he went past Psaros after the ball had gone, just to say, I know what you're trying to do, but you're not going to intimidate me like that. Nakagawa tried well, but Diaz does get the ball. Linking with Sanders, back with Diaz. Oh, Sanders wanted that ball back. Zupo just popped in ahead of him. Yeah, looks like he might have shrugged off that lower back problem, but bigger problems to deal with now. Psaros gives us that ball in. There was a little bit of a bobble, but Edgar unable to get onto it, and Wilson, who tried to catch the butterfly initially, ended up claiming the ball. Oh, it squirmed its way through towards Dias, but he couldn't just lay that ball off, and now Cairns will look to attack through Carroll. Carroll stands up Glover and breezes past him, delivers a dangerous looking ball that Waters cuts out at the front post. Here's the substitute, Emze Nikukawe. Shane Stefanuto weathered that shot, and then Sanders mopped it up. Sanders hit that one straight into Murphy, who equalised for Cairns just a short moment ago. And if you have just joined us, you've missed what's been quite an enthralling encounter between league leaders Olympic and Cairns. Cairns open for scoring through O'Hare. Will stick with Psaros though. substitute who skins Nakagawa, gets that ball across. Oh, it's all the way across. Where were the Olympic players? There were 4 of them on the edge of the area. None of them willing to make a gamble, but Psaros, he did his part, got the ball into the dangerous area. That is a corner. That's very sloppy from Cairns. Nakagawa looked like he was trying to take off in heading that ball, or attempting to, but was unable to do so. And now another good opportunity. This is how Adam Edgar scored Olympics second, but that was a pretty poor ball by Sanders. He might get another opportunity though if he can keep it in. He can't. And now it will be Cairns who will try to go ahead. Taylor keeps it in, but only for his opponent Nazaru. Waters. Kawane does well. The only substitute so far used by Danny Greystone. That's an interesting looking ball for Taylor. Carroll is lurking on the edge of a penalty on this left-hand side if a teammate can find him. I'm going to find it by playing half-hearted balls like that towards O'Hare from Murphy. And Jamie Carroll had a lot of space on this near side. Glover seems to be alert to it now, but it matters not because Olympic are in possession. Here's Psaros. He's been excellent since he's come on, in place of Danny Murphy. Nazari. Psaros will get there. Delivers across to the front post. It's gone straight up in the air. Bronson Coppen challenging. Edgar's there. Nazari. Sanders puts that one high over the bar. Right idea from Olympic, but it's still all square here. Been an excellent second half, just 10 minutes remaining in it. Blimey, time does fly when you're having fun. And that's what we've been doing on the Football Queensland Facebook page here in the National Premier League Queensland. Simon Smale talking you through all the action here on this production produced by Double Take. Lofthouse. Oh, he just caught Slopemaker. I don't think it was intentional. Just a tangle of legs, but Slopemaker, you'd have heard the cry of anguish from the central defender from New Zealand. He's jogging it off, but a bit of a limp. Yeah, he's still feeling it. It's caught on the ankle, can be nasty. Sanders does well despite losing his footing, plays a lovely ball towards Edgar. Zupo mops up with the assistance of Owens. Route 1 football at the moment from Cairns, just getting the ball away from the danger zone and trying to let Taylor do his magic. He hasn't scored yet, Taylor. Nakagawa chased down Psaros, but Psaros still won the ball. Dias thought he had cause for a free kick to be given against Zupo there, but instead it was Psaros who fouled Coppen, and that's what referee Paul Eldridge saw. Taylor crowded out by 2 Olympic players, but it's still there for Cairns, playing in the blue shirts today. Carroll, nice link up with Murphy, still there for Murphy. Waters stood tall and got that ball clear. And here's Nazari, has options ahead of him, chooses perhaps the wrong one in Dias. Nakagawa looked like he had him covered. Murphy did well to keep that possession. Oh, it's just gone straight up in the air. It's still there for Taylor. Can Taylor make the most of it? He possibly can. Here's Nikawane. Nikawane! Straight into the back of Stefanuto, who aims a couple of words towards Paul Eldridge, perhaps appealing for some sort of free kick, but it didn't look like there was much in it. Well, let off that would have been. O'Hare holding the ball up well. Ball was out. Would have been a good ball for Taylor, if only the field was a little longer. Not to be this time around. Over 5 minutes remaining of normal time. Can either side make the break for, of course, such drama here in round 19 last year in front of the Football Queensland cameras? I was there to tell you that Danny Byrne got a 94th minute penalty to win it. Chris O'Hare played a big role that day. He scored and conceded the penalty that handed Olympic their win. It's a fantastic game that. We've been treated to another thriller between the two sides today. Glover. Mundy with the long ball towards Lofthouse. Owen stands up well, but it's still there for Lofthouse. Lofthouse into the penalty area. It's there for Passaros. What a miss! Just got underneath it. All he had to do was hit the target, and that would have been almost certainly Olympics Day. But Costa Passaros hasn't been on the field too long. Just didn't quite have the touch required. What a let-off for Cairns. Excellent work again by Jez Lofthouse. He's been very impressive. Now can Cairns make the most of that opportunity? Here's Carroll. Good from Carroll towards the back post with Nikawane. He rose above Shane Stefanuto, who's a big man, MJ Nikawane. Scored 12 goals in his 70-game Far North Queensland Cairns career. He almost had a 72nd. Here's Passaros now, turning provider. Edgar just can't quite get it under control, but it's still there for Dias. End-to-end action here to end this enthralling contest. Nazari. Passaros can't get that ball under control, and it's hacked clear by Murphy. Saunders. Glover. Dias. Oh, back to Glover. This is the furthest forward he's been, apart from a corner. He's done well, has Glover. Oh, what a vital intervention that was from Slopemaker. Still there for Olympic with Sanders. Oh, it was a nice idea from Sanders. Dias just seemed to hesitate and stop when, had he continued his run, it might have been interesting as to who would have got there first between him and Wilson. As it was, Cairns can clear. Well, kept him well by Nikawane. Ben Owens, a bit more composure required to find Taylor. Nikawane tried to chase down Sanders, puts himself out of position, and that allowed Stefanuto to find Dias. Dias threads the ball towards the offside Adam Edgar. I don't think he was offside by much. We're going to see a substitution for the visitors, and I have a feeling it's going to be Chris O'Hare, who would have thought. He's been struggling with this lower back injury for a few minutes now. He's been instrumental in scoring the second goal for Cairns, and of course the first, which he netted with 10 minutes to go before the half-time break to hand Cairns a perhaps unlikely lead. Less than 10% of you on Instagram thought Cairns were going to win this game. As it happens, they're still on level terms. 2-2 here as we approach the end of the 90. O'Hare really is struggling, but he's taking as much time as you'd probably expect from a man of his experience to haul himself off the field. There's a shout just beneath us, suggesting we'll see about 8 minutes of injury time. Might not be far off that. It's been a fair few stoppages. No fourth officials in the National Premier League's Queensland, so it'll be a bit of guesswork from all of us. But O'Hare does make his way. It's been a good shift from the Cairns veteran. A very good shift. And it's Rekha Kavanagh, former Queensland schoolboy star and Innisfail United junior. Good header by Taylor. Carroll back to Taylor, and it is a corner. It came off Kristen Waters last despite his protestations. No O'Hare, so Carroll will look to take. Kavanagh could make a name for himself. Comes short though. You expect this will go into the middle, but he's brought two defenders with him, Saros and Sanders. It is deep. Stefanuto with a vital header. He needed to get that because Nikawane was arriving at pace behind him. So we tick over the 90. Will we see a winner here? It's in the hands of the referee as to how much time we have added on. Stefanuto. Nazari. Psaros. Nakagawa. His turn. Psaros. Good ball! It was blocked before it got to Dias, but it's still there for Olympic. Here's Sanders. Is it going to fall for him? No, he's closed down well by the substitute Kavanagh. Decent shot in the end, but always looked like Wilson had it covered. And now will Cairns be happy with a draw, or are they thinking 3 points as well? You'd have to say they should be thinking 3 if they're not already. Although a draw against the league leaders is nothing to be sniffed at. There's still time for more for Olympic though, especially if this ball comes all the way towards Psaros. It does. Psaros tries to make his way into the middle. He had Dias inside him. Instead, he wins the corner. Another opportunity for Olympic. Psaros takes it short. Sanders. Psaros. Swing this is left-footed. No, he won't. It wasn't a bad idea. Dias looked like he was making the run. But now Josh Wilson will take all the time in the world to launch this ball forward. Well, there still may be plenty of time, or at least enough time for a winner for one of these two sides. Looked like Waters' shirt was being tugged a little there by Taylor, but he's still able to get the header on it. Dias made a gamble, but it was cut out in the end by Zupo. But here's Carroll. This could spell danger for Olympic. Lovely from Carroll. Carroll tries to beat him at the near post. Oh, it's a good save by Mooney. It might have been just going the wrong side of a post from Cairns' perspective. Certainly it's how it looked from this angle, but Mooney is not to know that. It was a good save, one that needed making. But how much of Jamie Carroll's shirt did Kristen Waters have? I'll have to check the video when it goes up on the Football Queensland Facebook page early next week. Still there, Psaros making his way into the penalty area. Zupo does well to clear. Corner Olympic. Carroll trots back to negate the effect of the short corner that looks like it's coming between Nazari and Sanders. Perhaps Sanders will just deliver it into the middle. He does. Waters is there. It was aimed towards Waters. It was Edgar who got his head on it though. Straight up in the air and well gathered by Wilson. Horrible hook by Wilson. Sliced it high instead of delivering it to Taylor. And Olympic will come again. That's aimed into the danger zone. Edgar. His eyes would have lit up there. That was a bit cheeky from Wilson. Just eating up a couple more seconds. Let's see how he goes this time. Better, but it matters not. Honours even here at Goodwin Park. A fantastic finish to a very, very engaging game of football here in the National Premier League's Queensland. Cairns led in the first half through Chris O'Hare, but were pegged back by Olympic in the second half. Shelford Dias and Adam Edgar with the goals to hand the league leaders a 2-1 advantage. But then Thomas Murphy popped up with a fantastic finish at the near post after a glorious move from those old war horses Jamie Carroll and Chris O'Hare to pull Cairns level, and that is how it's finished. Both teams had plenty of chances at the end to win it, but a second straight 2-2 draw for Olympic is how it ended. Good result for Cairns. They'll be very satisfied with that ahead of next week's North Queensland derby in Townsville. Plenty of exciting matches to come in the National Premier League's Queensland in round 8, starting off on Friday night between Redlands and Strikers at the Showgrounds. Then we have City versus Sunshine Coast, Pride versus South West Queensland Thunder, the aforementioned North Queensland derby between North Queensland United and Cairns. Olympic will head to Logan to take on the Raw Youth in their new home. The televised game will be Gold Coast United against the Mackay Whitsunday Magpies. While Moreton Bay will look to rectify the wrong that they suffered at the hands of the reigning champions this weekend when they host Lions at Walter Park. Thanks very much for joining me, Simon Smale, on the Football Queensland Facebook page. This has been a production for Double Take, by Double Take, for Football Queensland. We hope you enjoyed yourself, and we look forward to seeing you next week at Robina Station Reserve. Thanks for joining us. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday.